Dude Perfect has passed 50 million subscribers, but YouTube didn't give them a 50 million play button like they did for other YouTubers. I'm a 3D artist, and I think they deserve better, so I have officially taken over the responsibility for making Dude Perfect the best YouTube play button the world has ever seen. And let me just say, the end result was absolutely worth it. Let me set this up for you. Day 1, I posted my custom design, and Dude Perfect personally asked me to build it, which is great, except for one very crucial detail. My friend Tristan is literally a professional blacksmith who forges knives out of meteorites, and the only thing I had ever built was this Lego treehouse. This is what I spent my first paycheck on. So when Mr. Beast asked me to make his 50 million play button, I couldn't do it alone. I had to drop everything to fly across the country and build this trophy in Tristan's dad's garage. But now I'm back home. No Tristan, and no garage. So to fix that, I rented this giant warehouse, and Tristan is currently on a plane headed in a perfect trajectory towards my house. As soon as he arrives, we are going to work day and night to make this design into reality. This warehouse may not look like much now, but soon this is going to be the Daniel Krafft complex, alright? Hear me out. Woodworking section here, metal section here. This is where the TV could go. There's so much cool stuff we could do with this place, but I'm gonna have to wait on that because right now we have to focus. The Dude Perfect play button has to be built in 3 main parts: the base, the D, and the P. We got right to work setting up the warehouse with chairs, shelves, and all the basic stuff we need to get started. It took a few weeks moving all this machinery, but we can't really do much until we have something that can cut this giant metal block. But that's when Tormach sent us this giant mystery box.
What the fuck?
This is a CNC mill. They're pretty expensive, and it's exactly what we needed. They didn't want to sponsor this, but I can at least say thank you. Things were starting to look up in the Krafft complex, and it was finally time to get to work. I hate zip ties. The CNC mill is great, but to cut out the basic shapes, we need a water jet. Those are even more expensive than the CNC mill, so we had to go find one out in the wild. Turns out there's only one where I live, but the people were really nice and decided to help us out. So far, everything was going great. Suspiciously great. But we got the parts we needed, so we kept on going. And then we realized it. Remember 30 seconds ago when I said the play button has to be made in 3 parts? That was a lie. It turns out there's 17 parts. Some of them are Damascus steel, some of them are glass, some of them are carbon fiber, and I had forgotten about those parts completely. But I didn't do this project because it was easy. I'm doing it because these guys, they deserve better. So I ordered all the materials and we kept going. So far we've got the 3 basic shapes cut out, but we need all these pockets and details. And that is where the CNC comes in. It took a couple weeks to figure everything out, but the pieces are looking great with the new pockets, and the Damascus pieces are looking even better. We were making so much progress so fast that Dude Perfect actually invited us out to Texas to deliver it to them as a Christmas present. We were absolutely floored. Everything was going perfect. Surely there's nothing going on in the world right now that would prevent us from having this awesome experience. I knew it! I knew things were going way too smoothly. For the safety of everyone involved, we couldn't travel to Texas for Christmas, and our dreams were basically ruined. At least for a month or 2. But little did we know, this wasn't even the worst part. The next part of this project would bring us to our breaking point. You know, every time I'm too sick or injured to work, there's only one thing that my tired fingers crave. And that, of course, is Monster Legends, the sponsor of today's video. Monster Legends is a free mobile game where you can collect these little monsters that fight for you, except you also can forcibly breed them to create terrifying creatures like this, put them into teams, and fight your way to the top. As an abomination expert myself, I will be drawing inspiration from these.
Dude, hurry up. We need to finish the play button.
Okay. There's over 900 to collect. Still no Daniel Krafft monster unless you count this computer goblin, but there are other YouTubers on this YouTuber island, and you can pick your favorite character and put them to the test against other YouTuber monsters using their own unique skills. And if you download the game now using my link in the description, you'll get 50,000 food, 300,000 gold, 10 gems, and this exclusive monster. And remember, it's a limited offer, so download the game now. I have to get back to the play button because we are 3 months late at minimum. After we were done dealing with the C word, we gradually got back to work, but we were really demotivated after having to waste so much time. Progress felt slower than it was before, but I still wanted it to be as good as possible, so we kept pressing on. Days and weeks went by, and little by little you could see the project starting to take shape. But unfortunately, just as things were starting to get better again, I received the worst email of my life. We had to leave the warehouse. We didn't even do anything wrong, the owner just wanted it back, so that was that. Getting kicked out is one thing, but this meant we had to waste even more time. Moving into the shop literally took an entire month, so now we were gonna be even more late. We couldn't move this machine across the country, and there were no more workspaces available anywhere in my entire city, except for this one, which cost $2 million. Our spirits were at the lowest they had ever been. Not only couldn't we finish the play button, but all those plans we had were done for. This was gonna be the Krafft complex. We were gonna get a vending machine and fill it with sandpaper and WD-40. We were gonna get one of those grass rugs and put up the TikTok lights. It was gonna be so cool, but now we have to leave. I stayed up all night trying to figure out a solution, but for the first time in my entire YouTube career, there were no solutions. No one was coming to our rescue this time. The only things you can rent in this city are cars, those little scooter things, and like houses. I just got a really bad idea. What if I got a new house with a bigger garage and then finished the play button in there? It's a good idea, right? Where did I go wrong in my life? So the plan will work, except for the fact that here's an illustration of the housing market in the US right now. It shouldn't be that much of a problem though. Who wouldn't want a YouTuber living on their property? After being left on red by every realtor in the glorious state of Idaho, I finally found one. I put the big machines in storage, loaded everything else into a U-Haul, and with a heavy heart, I said goodbye to the Krafft complex for the final time. Maybe the real Krafft complex was the mental problems I acquired along the way, you know? It had been so long. I wanted to get back to my channel, and Tristan had to get back to his business. It's been over half a year. So I decided even if it's not perfect, it was time to finish this thing once and for all. We set up the basics once again, and one last time got back to work. At this point in the project, most of the play button was complete. The major details were all cut out. I used trigonometry for the first time ever to make these connector pieces, but really there were two things left. The first step is anodizing. It's pretty simple really. You just take the titanium Damascus bar, dunk it in hydrochloric acid, electrocute a pool of Gatorade, and dunk it in to reveal the gamer colors. We want green, but that's the highest voltage on the rainbow spectrum. Despite that, we managed to get the colors just right. But now comes the hard part. Polishing. Basically, you drill the metal with a piece of sandpaper until all the scratches are gone, and then do that like 20 times for every exposed surface on this giant metal object. Thankfully, letting it not be perfect allowed us to finish it in pretty much a week. Before you see the final product, Dude Perfect is really busy these days, but when I get this to them, I'll record their reaction. So if you want that to happen, please comment below so they can see it's worth their while. But without further ado, here is the Dude Perfect 50 million play button. Wait, did we make the sticker too big? You have got to be kidding me.